Ah. Well, come on in. I hope everyone's doing well. Uh, I'm here. I'm seeing if Ian's gonna show up, and if not, gonna take the time to work on some art. I think yesterday I said I'd do Kirby, but then I was thinking about it, and I was like, I need to get some art done. Probably best to do it now. I got too many after work activities to do this week that I fear no art will be done, and that is concerning. So I'm gonna be, if Ian's not showing up soon, then that's my plan. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing good. You know what, let me add him one more time. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're gonna work something out about this. Regardless, like, you know, I have, what was I thinking of? Oh, did a new One Piece chapter drop today? Heck yeah. Anyway, regardless, we're gonna work something out about this because, you know, I'm not gonna be able to do, like, Minecraft the next few weeks, so that won't be happening. Just trying to, I'll be dog sitting, and very typically that place doesn't have good enough internet for me to be doing multiplayer games, so I'm not gonna promise anything to anyone just cause. But yeah, pretty easy day. Honestly, I was fucking, I was taking it easy this weekend because I mean, I was literally just saying lots of stuff to do after work this week, and then, you know, of course I still have work, so not great, but no, but yeah. Also, I'm playing the Cuphead soundtrack. I forget if that used to get picked up by copyright on YouTube when I'd upload the Vods or not, but guess we'll see. I'm gonna give him like another 2 minutes or so. But I see no signs of life is the problem. Anyway. Oh Lord. My little VTuber. Oh. He's only okay, there we go. He's only a little messed up. He's got the spirit though. Okay, we're gonna minimize. I'm gonna start setting up to do art, if that's all right with everyone. Little art to do. We'll see how much my computer likes me fucking with this stuff in the middle of stream. There we go. Oh, my thing's connected now, so that's good. Hup, hup. I mean, if Ian comes in just as I disconnect my game setup, then oops. Listen, I am fully in the belief that, like, sometimes the universe just works like that, you know? Like, when you finally start taking the steps to, I don't want to say give up on something, but, you know, do something else, then that activity finally gets set in motion. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just how my life works. I try to do, I sit around waiting for stuff to happen, and then when I finally make up my mind to go and do something, you know, for myself, something happens. So that's fun. Also, my computer's taking its sweet old time booting up CSP. Also, I tried to. I mean, I guess it doesn't really affect this stream too much if we're doing more art, but I did try and take precautions as to make stream look nicer, a little smoother, less crunchy, less choppy. So hopefully it'll look a bit better. I honestly, I was on, you know, I was trying to do research legitimately, but like I got some questions answered, got some not so answered, so I just basically switched some stuff in the OBS settings and prayed that it didn't break. I mean, it looks okay so far as me yapping, so you know, good sign. Okay. And last one, I tend to move all my... Uh-oh. Okay, good. It can be a little fuzzy messing with the docks and windows in OBS, but I think we're all good. No, don't. I don't know why they do this. Oh lord, it's literally, although the window I'm currently trying to mess with has the start and stop streaming button, and I'm nervous that this is gonna be like, yeah, stop streaming. Oh, I actually think we're good now. Okay, works out. Again, as long as it doesn't keep, you know, as long as are we still live? Hopefully. I know no one's here, but wouldn't that be wouldn't that be the problem though? Wouldn't the issue be if my stream is so brief by accident that no one even gets a chance to show up? Nah, amazing. I am Mr. King Dice though. Also, display capture. And then... Okay, and I think we should be good. Yep. All good. Well, in that case, how about let's start with art. Let's be doing some art, you know? Might as well. Every night not let you pass, don't you? I'm pretty sure. Okay. I really need to read. I've been trying to work. I mean, some people might realize this just because I truly got yucked up the release of some of the newer strip just because I was trying to work on like formatting shit, and I don't necessarily regret that, but honestly I still have work to do, so oopsie poopsie. Don't mess with King Dice. Hey, I don't know how the fucking like the shape tool works in CSP. I'm gonna be so real with y'all. Just because when the shape has like a, you know, a outline that's greater than like 1 pixel, I am unaware of whether or not like where this little cursor, if it's I'm pretty sure it ends up being in like the middle, you know, the little dot is in the intersection of where that first vertices will go, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have plenty to do this week because it is mine and a relative's birthday. Me and a close family member have pretty close birthdays, so I'll be running around doing a whole bunch of activities with that. And you know, it's I definitely am not like, oh no, how could this happen? It's more so, it just makes me want to double down on despising having to keep a full-time job, you know? Like, when it works out that so much of the free time of my week ends up being dedicated solely to kind of one event, if you will, you know, combining me and the family members event into a singular jamboree, then the fact that then it really becomes glaring how much of the rest of the time I spend at work. And also, like I was mentioning, I'm dog sitting, and I live like right around the corner from my job, and the place I'm dog sitting is also pretty close, but it's a bit further, so I'm probably going to be waking up earlier to do that, to, like, you know, check on the dog and be able to get to work on time. And the first day I'm dog sitting, actually, I'm going into work later, just because I agreed to do that for another coworker so they could do some family activity of their own. And what that means is that, like, on the 11th, I'm doing family stuff. And then I'm going to be getting up after that at like 5 o'clock in the morning to go check on the dog, and then go into work after that. And then, like, most weekdays for the next 2 weeks after that, I'll be getting up around 5 in the morning. So, not going to be a sleepy week for me. It's going to be a bit of a... We're gonna be a little light on sleep around the Cahill residence. Bring out the parrot. You got it. Me. Also, I did. Here's the thing, right? Without seeing Vegeta in Call, I was like, you know, I kind of hedged my bets. So I kept the game PNG tuber, but I set the category for art, just because I'm like, if he shows up, I won't have to mess with the PNG tuber. But if I have to set up art, then I don't want to have to bother going into Twitch and changing that. So I did it. Wait, this is the 14th comic. All right. I'm trying to think. No, yeah. I'm thinking about, like, panel layout and shit like that. I know, something no one's interested in. Oh, load that reference for me. Thank you. Yippee wahoo. I try to. You know me, I try to. Don't ask why I have fucking Forrest Gump pre-saved on my computer. He just came with my Mac. I don't know what to tell you. He said I had an interesting adventure getting here, and I said, well, much like people in, you know, the movie you originate from, I won't ask. I won't be inquisitive about it, even though you've ended up living a pretty interesting life. By all accounts, Forrest, everyone should be lucky to hear your life story, and yet everyone's just like, I don't care. So rude. No gigs of the same image of Kevin Spacey. Amazing. Yeah, that should be good. So, you know, at least for today, if nothing else, what I'd like to do is I'd like to make sure we can get like the kind of like one specific image done, because I'm probably going to be using it for 2 of a 3-panel comic. So but yeah, also I continue to fiddle around with trying to make the comic look good for the webtoons format. I apologize to anyone waiting for more updates on that. I know, I'm insane, and I need to stop fucking with things, but I can't help it. I have to fiddle. I'm Fiddleford McGucket. Remember, a wax apocalypse is coming. Oh my lord. On one hand, I get it. This is, to be clear, what I'm about to talk about is not the worst thing. Fucking, you know, that Google has done, not by a long shot. But I feel like, it's so common for me to try and look up like a common noun or phrase, and the first thing that comes up isn't that thing, but instead is a musical artist of some kind who happens to be, you know, who happens to have taken that as their stage name. And like, that's fine, I get it, it's chill, whatever. Also, I should probably, because I'm airdropping. Oh my goodness, I know. There it is. I don't need to put on the pause screen. All you can see here is that I got some emulators and 2 pictures. But yeah. Importing images of the jungle. I don't know how to draw the jungle. I need some kind of base to work off of, even if it is not a super realistic one. You know? Where information goes to die. You doing okay, me? I get it, but also, you okay? Concern for meat rises. And I ain't talking about the product, I'm talking about the person in my chat. Would you believe me if I said yes? I mean, if it's coming from the heart, then yeah. The fucking smiley face makes me think, you know, no, but... Okay. Time to sketch out some cartoony boys on the front of this thing. Cool, just checking. Checking if I would believe you if you said you were okay. That's suspicious, but you know, I'll roll with it. Oh, actually, I should not do that. Because... Okay, here we go. I do love me some cartoons. They don't make them like they used to, though. And I'm not saying that as a, you know, old man yells at cloud thing. In a lot of ways, I really like what a lot of animation has become. But you don't get like your Tom and Jerry shorts anymore. At some point, they stopped kind of doing slapstick as much as I think they as a prime form of entertainment. Yeah, it isn't a case of I hate all new cartoons. It's a case of no, literally they don't make them like that anymore. So even as they try to emulate it, they just I feel like they tend to miss the mark more often than not. Though topically related to the soundtrack we have on here, I think the Cuphead show did a pretty good job at actually, you know, adapting the aesthetic and what have you of that time into a new show, and they had some good gags to go with it. So if you liked the game Cuphead, maybe consider watching the Netflix show. I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, as much as I am putting my own kind of Cuphead, well, that's the game, and they never made games like that, you know. The show didn't make it that way either, but they did manage to emulate it enough that I was like, oh yeah, this passing grade. But yeah, you know, even though I am kind of putting my own a little bit of serialization in this, I am hoping that it gives people cartoony vibes enough that I get warm fuzzies reading the good old Wallop Bros. And I can only dream. Honestly, I feel like that's one reason I've been like, maybe it would be better just to make like cute comic strips than animate, because not only is that a time thing, but also, as I've said so many times, I'm tired of working with people. So like, you can do animation on your own. It's gonna take forever. So with that in mind, maybe comics is just genuinely more where it's at for me. Big hammer. I think this is relative to the size I drew Walt's hammer last time. That's a fun fact for everyone at home, you know. It isn't just a gag. Walt just legitimately fights with a mallet. Obviously inspired by classic cartoons, but does he pull it out of hammer space? Yes. Is it used for cartoony effect a lot? Yes. Is it also his primary piratical weapon? Also yes. So also I should get rid of, where's, what the when did that happen? When did I mean, I can literally just oh wait, no, I can't. Okay, let me see. When did I merge layers accidentally? Lord, we should just go back to doing it on pen and paper, shouldn't we? There are, whether or not some people like to admit it, I do think pen and paper does tend to hold its own advantages. Even with a... Yeah. Okay, is that good? Good. Here's the thing, I didn't even realize the panels were still up, and then I was like, oh, I should turn those off, because I'm trying to draw this as one image right now. Then it was like, you stupid bitch. You've turned it into one layer. What were you expecting? Are you absolute Neanderthal? Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Also, I love how we have like a funky little beat in the background as I have Walt and Willie doing little tippy taps. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. I don't know. Listen, I've thought plenty about best ways for me to get my entertainment and stuff out there, but I don't know. I'm trying to make the current formula work. Some people have said they liked it. Has it been enough for me to make it a full-time job? No. But we'd be out here. Also, shout out to Zaid. I think he's streaming right now. So I'm gonna try and refrain from blowing up his spot and making him be like, Cahill, shout me out. I mean, I think it's just me here, but when we raided Zaid last night, he was talking all about wanting to be a full-time streamer, and I was like, I support you. You're one of them dreamers, Zaid. I like you. Keep it up, my guy. So I do very much hope Zaid finds a good audience and is able to make streaming a full-time profession. Because he's a chill, cool guy. I don't need streaming to necessarily be my thing, because if I could get comics and writing to take off, then like that's good enough for me. And streaming can still be a part-time thing. And it might have some cool bonus features. If people are like, I like this comic and he streams, but I don't need it to be the primary source of income. But Zaid has a passion for streaming as I have a passion for drawing and cartoons and stories. That's why I think he should find success in that. My guy deserves the best. I will say, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Meat. To a degree, I feel like that's kind of why I'm glad I haven't found an audience, a super large audience yet, because like let's say some big guy online gives me a shout out and suddenly I'm blowing up. Fucking, and I'm just like, I can't, I don't know. I just don't know if I'd be able to keep the momentum going out of nowhere without a decent backlog, so. Hey, what guns did they use in Vietnam? Vietnam standard gun. Vietnam War. M16. What do M16s look like? M16. Gotcha, they look. And this is going to shock you. Like a gun. I'm actually going to draw him holding it properly. Improperly. Well, if I said properly and I was like, no, wait. The opposite. Switch it around. The U.S. Immigration exam question. I mean, they probably want to know. They probably want you to know more about modern day guns than you know than the ones we used to use. And even if it was me, I didn't immigrate to the States, so I wouldn't have known it. Also, if you're not, if, for anyone not in the U.S., despite our, stereotypes, shocking lack of info on, like, history tests and what have you, They aren't actually trying to quiz us on, like, what guns are used in what conflicts for the most part. I'm sure there's different I'm sure there was different stuff I did in history class that, also, he should probably be grabbing that more in the middle. Ah, that's not the eraser. But yeah, I'm sure. What was an M16? Point. Okay, kids. Today we're going to identify an M16. Can you tell me which one it is on this chart? Yeah. I have no doubt in some history classes, they were like, hey, what weapon was used here? Like, if it was important to understanding the outcome of the conflict, but it definitely wasn't every quiz like that. I'm just gonna have him holding it by the, like, cartridge. So, I ran this past some of my friends not too long ago. Well, actually a long time ago. Opposite. Again, reverse it. My brain's fried. Anyway. But, so in this comic, I'm gonna have a Forrest Gump-like trailing behind the boys as they sneak through the jungle. Oh my goodness! It's Pig! It's the fantastic Mr. Pig! What could he have possibly been doing? Could Pig have been trailing through a jungle? Hunting for something? Shout Hour, he's so fantastic. He really is. I'm sorry if I was lurking towards the end of that, Pig. I do hope you managed to get past Elatreon, and if not, oh well. Monster Hunter World, oh my goodness. I can't imagine playing so much Monster Hunter. I've never spent all day playing Monster Hunter before. Definitely didn't do that today. Yeah, welcome in, Raiders. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoyed Pig stream. I'm Cahill. I'm an artist who likes to play games. And everything from Kirby to Dark Souls. And today, in lieu of doing any Minecraft, we will instead be working on my next comic strip. That's what we're doing right now. And yes, Forrest Gump will be there. In case you were wildly curious about that. So, also, we've already learned what gun the U.S. military gave to their standard soldiers during the Vietnam War, so that's pretty great. My streams are educational. I try. Yeah, welcome on in. Also, Pig, I hope that stream went well for you, obviously, as you said in your stream, and as I was watching, you were simulcasting to TikTok on top of Twitch. So I hope you considered it a successful endeavor. And I ain't talking about the My Hero Academia character. I'm sorry. Even if I had watched My Hero, probably wouldn't be a big Endeavor guy. Because I'm pretty sure his one character trait is, let me check my notes, abusive father. So... Lord, I believe I was talking about me and Stealth watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Last stream. I'm gonna get back on that for just a second. Because there was a filler arc in the middle of the regular arc that, like, basically, we're trying to do, like, Kaiba and his brother Mokuba's backstory. And the thing about Mokuba is that I don't think he's actually supposed to be that younger than Kaiba, because they're shown in the orphanage together, okay? But here's the thing. Kaiba looks like a child. He's very small. Looks pretty dang... He looks pretty dang different in the, like, decade-plus flashback featured in, like, these arcs and what have you. Okay? Mokuba looks about the same. I couldn't tell you what age Mokuba is. Swears in Elatrion, that's a good sign. Nobu, do you not have a hit it, make it die stick in World like you do in Generations Ultimate? You don't have 9999 Greatsword to simply destroy Elatrion atomically? That does complicate things. I will admit. Ha, no. I don't know if you'd have to beat Elatrion to get something like that in World, or if there's a different monster you could grind for a weapon of that caliber. Yeah, I've seen that. I wasn't gonna tell you guys how to do the fight because fucking obviously I haven't played it before. But also from what I had seen online, it's like, you know, you have to do elemental damage to stop its one-hit KO. And then another thing is breaking the horns. And I had heard Pig be like, talk about like doing that both at the same time, basically. And I feel like I had heard that you don't necessarily have to break the horns at the start before his one-hit KO move. But again, I haven't played it, so. And also, I don't know if you guys beat it and are just frustrated about the monster in general, or if you're like, didn't. Absolutely not. So, also, hi, Paula. We didn't beat it and are frustrated. Oh, I'm sorry about that. It happens. You know? I will say, even though Monster Hunter kind of, to a certain degree, has a similar difficulty style to Dark Souls, in that you can either grind out numbers to kind of artificially make yourself stronger or get good enough at the fight that it doesn't matter how high your numbers are. I feel like it kind of has like a fudged version of that, you know? Like, it does really help to to have the higher numbers in Monster Hunter, to the point that if you haven't, then you are almost more screwed than if you don't have the proper leveling in Dark Souls. So it might just be best to grind out equipment before that peak of numbers. Uh-oh. That's no good. They don't go up from here. Uh-oh. But yeah. I don't have anything else. I don't have any other comments then. Elatrium just sounds like it's bullshit. I've gotten really into doing little lines to suggest Walt and Willie's hair. That's become my new favorite thing. I'm gonna draw the boys. Oh yeah, it's bullshit. Well, next time we do Generations Ultimate, I assure you we won't be messing with Elatrion. I will say though, I don't know when the next time I might be playing Ultimate with friends might end up being like 3 weeks from now. Maybe less, but I was just talking about how I'm not going to be home for a good bit, and my internet will not necessarily be so tight that I'm able to do multiplayer shit, you know? So I don't want to promise anything. We will have Kirby, though. Maybe I should have done Kirby if I had known that Pig and Raiders would be frustrated at Elatrion. Calm everyone down. Yeah, Elatrion doesn't sound too fun. I might fight it in GU one day. I don't know about World, especially with what you guys are saying. But it happens. I've spent plenty of streams trying certain challenges and not necessarily doing a lot with them. So I would say don't sweat it too much. 'Tis what 'tis. I'm sure y'all gave it your all. So I love how Walt and Willie are very wildly simple designs, and yet I still end up looking at references for how I've drawn them. Of all the characters I create that I should remember how to draw, I feel like these two should be the easiest. But no, I forget how to draw circles. Still more difficult. That's good news for me. Yeah. Yeah, because switching Magic Dragon, then switch elements, that can be cool. Giving it a one-hit KO move for just fucking if you don't pass a certain check, that's not amazing. And also, I don't believe, as far as I know, not necessarily an in-game thing telling you like, hey, if you don't do this, he's just gonna fucking kill you. So. Come on, Capcom. What are you doing? Also, can we get a new Mega Man game? Pretty please. I'm just saying, I like Mega Man. And, like, I mean, to be fair, Mega Man has some bullshit design, too. Every now and then, but... You won't hear me complaining about it if you put out a new one. One Mega Man Legends as a treat. Heck, if they put out a new Mega Man Legends, I'll go back and play the first two. Put out Mega Man Legends 3 with a 1 and 2 collection for modern consoles. I'd do that. I appreciate your lurk of me. Thank you. Poggy indeed. But yeah. Alatreon has never been a monster where I've been like, man, I would love to go against that thing. From what I'm seeing of it, I'm just like, okay. Fucking... I'm way more into Deora than Alatreon. And plenty of people are just like, who even cares about Deora? So that should tell you where my level of excitement is at for that specific Elder Dragon. Honestly, the only Elder Dragon I want to return in Wilds is Chameleos. I will keep saying Chameleos is best Elder Dragon because it's true and everyone should know it. If you can look at his dumb little face and tell me he's not the greatest, then you're a lost cause, my friend. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what's wrong with you, but you better get it sorted out before you start being mean to Chameleos like that. Also, I love how I love how they added the little funky chameleon walk to Chameleos' animation. It's a good detail. I wouldn't assume he does it during the, I wouldn't assume he does it during a fight, but after fighting him in Generations a lot recently, Chameleos does do a funky chameleon walk while he's fighting you. Which, you know, it would seem like it'd be the time to speed it up a little bit, but I guess he doesn't really feel the urgency. He said, I don't care. No, thank you. Alright, I forgot. Like, what's happening here? Yeah, that looks good. Honestly, Chameleos can have as much of my inventory as he desires. He's earned a treat. Chameleos as treat. We make it scary when it's just a good derpy goober. Exactly. And you know what? There should be an Elder Dragon that's a good derpy goober. He fills his role perfectly. You know? You don't need to change that. Honestly, fucking, you know. Fuck, no monster can ever be as purposefully scary as as the Mega Plesioth we found. So, which was only scary by accident. So I think they should abandon that. Fuck that Plesioth. Fuck that Plesioth in particular. I want that fish. Do they not do lobster tanks at grocery stores anymore? I mean, like, I don't feel like I typically go to stores where they even really would have lobster tanks anymore. But as cool as they were, they do also just kind of seem like a bad idea. You know what I mean? I don't think that's actually really keeping the lobster fresh. And I think most of its value comes in showing children lobsters. That's about it. I almost feel like it would be wild if if that had become that had gone so long without any contesting. I think I've ever seen a lobster tank in my life. Well, granted, I like the main store. I largely remember having a lobster tank in my childhood. Isn't around anymore. It got phased out for a new grocery store in its location. I don't think they offered lobsters. They did not keep the lobster tank. So maybe at least in terms of grocery chains, that was it, and they are not operating anymore. Because don't get me wrong, a lobster tank can be a smart idea, you know, in like a fancy location, a restaurant, where the chefs need fresh lobsters and they can spare money and personnel to caring for lobsters in the tank. But in just many grocery stores, I don't know how much quality we're assuring people in terms of lobster health. You know what I'm saying? Because it, like, yeah, they're gonna die, but if they're not healthy before that, then fucking, then you're gonna get food poisoning. So, yeah, be careful. Give me a second here. Oh goodness, my house has been. I can't control the temperature in my house, and honestly, recently it's been way too hot. Everyone is always complaining about snow when like winter rolls around. First off, the places that even get snow anymore are dwindling. And yeah, I know, fucking doomer comment, who cares? Moving on from that though, you know what's worse than snow? You know what's infinitely worse than pouring some salt on your driveway? It's when you dress for like 10-degree weather, but then every store and like place you go to has their thermometers set in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying they need to match the outside temperature. Obviously, when I get into a place, I'll shed my outer layer of clothing. But there's a degree where it's just like, I'd have to be wearing summer clothes underneath several layers in order to be comfortable traveling to here and then sitting in here. You know what I'm saying? Because the outside would make me decently ill if I remained out there for prolonged amounts of time, with, you know, without proper insulation. But now your establishment is making me sweat because it is decently toasty, and I'm wearing like a sweater and sweatpants. All I'm saying is that I think a lot of people tend to make like interiors disproportionately warm the moment it drops below 70 outside. And I think we need to enact some kind of policy about that. Just frankly. Also, I'm gonna erase Walt's hat real quick because I don't think I drew it good. Honestly, he's in kind of a weird pose, and that was the part I was least happy with, so. Also, I'm gonna save real quick. Then also, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Watch Tetranodon for me. Thank you. Chat, did Tetranodon behave? You didn't get up, you didn't let him get up to anything nasty? I hope not. You can't afford the bill. You can't afford the fees again. The legal fees. Of, I suppose there's very faint music. Well, just say the music should be louder. You can just say the music should be a little louder. Isn't with us anymore. He appears to be. As far as I can see, he's right there. Okay. We're making some progress. Also, I really do think I should just make the visor on Walt's cap bigger and kind of more skewed. I wanted some turtle soup. No! My boy! That's my boy. Father, help. No, my boy! Lord. Honestly, I feel like I should just look into getting an IV drip. If I could remove the necessity for me to drink liquid water manually, That would do a lot. It would really free up a lot of time in my day. And just start infusing me. Just start infusing me with the water I need for a day. Get that ivy drip. Dressed like a Batman villain. I'm allergic to poison ivy. The plant, not the character. So if I got it directed into my, if I got it fucking just infused into my veins, probably wouldn't go well. I feel like I can pretty confidently say that a toxin irritant directed into the bloodstream probably wouldn't end great. Now, do I know what it would do? No. Am I going to find out? Also, no. Avoid the options. And both of them seem pretty bad. Oh. Let me just think. I feel like I just saw a Batman thing with but I cannot remember what it was. All I know is that recently I've seen an account on TikTok. I don't know if it's one account or several, but they're talking about new DC releases, and they tag spoilers, and like, yeah, it's good practice to put spoiler warnings before things for sure, but to a degree, I almost feel like DC is the exception, you know? Because far too often they have a million disconnected events going on at once. And just different canons and reality. Like, some stuff that... Saying, like, Batman spoilers, it's just like... the series aren't being coherent enough for me to feel like I can be spoilered. You can't tell me what's happening right now, because I haven't known what's been happening for a while. I've completely lost the plot. I'm sure they're going to be resetting the universe again pretty soon. DC loves nothing if not just always resetting the universe. That's it. Restart. I just thought about, like, here's the thing. I said restart the universe, and my mind was, you know, naturally trying to be like, what about, you know, how about we talk about these things related to that? But, like, the few things I thought of were all just massive spoilers. Not for Batman, but for, like, other more standalone pieces of media. So I was like, well, we can't. Good try, brain. Don't you just love it when you're trying to talk and your brain is just feeding you information that would be not good to talk about in polite conversation? I did have a patient, what was I thinking of? I did have a patient the other day in the hospital who had been having leg problems. And he was saying he had these leg problems for so long that I did just decide to ask him. It's like, have you ever thought about getting, like, a prosthetic base, you know? Which is not something you'd normally say to people. You know, when people come in with issues, I feel like in any place, let alone a medical facility, typically the response isn't, well, have you thought about getting rid of the limb? But I feel like at a certain point, that does become a completely valid thing to wonder. And he's like, oh yeah, but insurance doesn't cover it. And I'm like, aw, beans. That's no good. Of all the reasons to have not done a thing, insurance is the worst reason to have not done a thing. IMO. I think I was talking on a different stream about, like, CoffeeZilla and, like, him getting in some legal kerfuffle, not because he did something, but rather because they're like defamatory, and it's not. I can say quantifiably as a third party, wicked no. But regardless, something he mentioned, because he started asking for support for that to make sure, you know, he doesn't fucking like have to pay $1 million out his ass for no reason, was that he mentioned something about like almost like frivolous lawsuit kind of thing, almost like insurance for people trying to sue you. And I was like, I did not know that was a thing. That sounds neat. But then they were like, we're not going to cover you. So I, you know, returned to the point, back to what I was saying about you insurance. Ah. I forget I have the map on here. Also, I should probably make the fingers go up this way. I think I said before, I do like, as much as I mentioned issues with digital art in this very stream, something I do like about it is that it's really easy to like throw things on the canvas and then either like kind of chisel them to the right thing, or you know, erase them, go back. It can't be denied that that's probably the strongest reason to work digitally. One of the strongest reasons. No. All right. Walt's looking so handsome today. You know, fun little fact. Well, I do take my time to try and think of Walt and Willie like individually, as individual like people and stuff. Whenever for the purposes of the story, I treat them as like one entity. So I do try to do my best to have them like, I'm not gonna say like speak equally, you know, have like the same amount of speaking parts, but I do try to have them like trade off on which one is delivering a punchline or saying something on behalf of kind of both of them. But yeah. On a practical level, oh my lord, why can I never speak? Should I start doing, before I stream, should I start doing like red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather? My toy boat. Stacy. I hate Stacy. It's just one of the exercises. But yeah. So on a practical level, Walt and Willie are two different people. But on on a narrative level, on a wider scale, they work as one entity, which I mostly just bring up so that it's clear there's never really going to be a time where they're like pitted against each other or what have you. You know, we're not going to have brotherly conflict in this one. Brother, Big Chungus Snake. Big Chungus. Yes, Big Chungus. Again, that is the best thing to come out of that meme. Brother, have you heard of Big Chungus? Big Chungus. That's right, brother. Big Chungus. Let me just remember to fucking memorize that entire video before we play Metal Gear Solid on stream. Every Metal Gear Solid stream starts with me reciting that video for verbatim. It's like the national anthem before a ballpark game. Here's the thing. Did I say this on stream before? I don't know. I do like me some live sports, you know? Getting food, hanging out with people, watching the home team. I don't think it should always necessarily be as big as sports are typically made out to be, but that's me. That's personal preference, you know? But you know, to a degree, I almost feel like I feel that way because I get so little out of watching sports on TV or online or what have you, that for me they have to be in person, right? Whereas plenty of people are just like, no, I'll just catch the game online or over the TV. I don't need to go in person. I'm like, no, and when I'm like, no, you gotta. It's an experience. Please. You have to see the gladiator death battle in person. It just loses so much character, so much weight. If you're not watching them get murdered in person. That being said, while I do like me some live sports, particularly baseball, I'm never sure what season it is. I know there's almost always, like, you know, no matter what time of the year it is, there's almost always some season for some game. But fuck if I remember when which sport is doing what. Oh, it's time to rest my eyes. Well, I'm not doing that. My wrist hurts. And do you want to know the problem? It's not the one I'm drawing with. Lord. I need like art bracers. I don't think I have any. I don't have any, you know, wrist / art related. But I don't think it's ever a bad time to try and prevent it. Sure. I'm not exactly trying to look for that in the future. All right. We're gonna call, yeah. That's one of these guys down. So that's nice. 1 out of 3 characters drawn. And then, you know, then an entire jungle. That'll be fun. I'll reiterate. I would love to go to like a jungle, a rainforest, if you will, somewhere. But at the like a normal forest anywhere, you catch me there. I fucking love going into the forest, right? But I feel like naturally more humid temperaments and what have you, the denseness of the rainforest and jungle, you'll find way more bugs there. And I'm not about that. That being said, I'm like aware of that, right? You know? I recognize that when you go outside anywhere, bugs are there. And that the more you go into like bug-friendly environments, the more likely you are to encounter big / numerous bugs. Well, I feel like a decent amount of people, including people I'm related to, see bugs outside and are like, we have to destroy it. How could this happen? And I'm like, we have come into the bug's home. It's not the other way around. It's one thing when a bug steps into your home and it's like, okay, well, this cannot stand, you know? You're defending your territory. It happens. Like, you know, go for it. But the moment you step outside, for me, bugs are off the table unless they've started trying to crawl on you. Because then, obviously, that's a problem. I feel like a lot of people see, like, a bug or an animal outside they find gross. And they're like, destroy it! And I'm like, you can. You've come into his home. If bugs were entering people's home and killing them, we'd have even more of a problem than we already do, with them just trespassing. Could you imagine how bugs feel when we go outside? And are like, oh boy, here I go killing again. Probably not great. You know, I've talked a lot on stream about, like, I think ants are, like, the best bug. And they probably have the best chance of overthrowing humanity. Could you imagine what the global reaction would be if, like, you know, someone was investigating and otherwise destroying an ant colony, right? But then they were looking at, like, the little tunnels the ants had dug, and on, like, and taking out, like, a magnifying glass or what have you, they realized they were little ant hieroglyphics on the walls. Like a definitive and clear written ant language. I wonder what the global reaction to that would be. What level would be panic versus like excitement? where we would be at on like protecting all ant species versus destroying global annihilation. I saw that, Paula, earlier when I was at Pig Stream. They changed the clip system. Not great. Also, I was talking before, Pig was simulcasting to TikTok, and I definitely think that's a good move. I do have a problem with TikTok streaming in general, though, just because it's not that I think it's not a good idea in general for TikTok to go, hey, you can scroll through the app looking at short form videos, or you could hang out with people watching, like, you know, a longer stream, right? Like, that's fine. My problem comes in that they kind of try and present the streams like they are the short form content. Like, they'll even mix in streams with the regular videos. Oh, I'm sorry, Paula. That sounds awful. whether it was for me or for Pig, I appreciate the thought. For me or my friend. But yeah, I think that's the biggest mistake. I can see that they're trying to be like, well, since people are already here looking at this stuff, we should sprinkle in the streams so that way they know they're present and might even find one they like, right? But like, those types of video content and what have you are different enough that mixing them, to me, feels like mixing fucking Skittles and M&Ms. Like, you shouldn't do it. You should make a more clear and defined experience for your streaming aspect. Not to try and treat it as the same thing. I think that's the biggest thing for TikTok streaming. Also, I was watching a video today about, well, not today, the other day, about like YouTube streaming not doing too well. And honestly, I feel like that and TikTok do also share another missed opportunity, which is, I feel like they don't really let you get like personalize your chat features and like the interactivity aspect of it. Like, as far like, I don't think Twitch members, as they're called, when you subscribe with money to someone's channel, I don't think they get nearly the kinds of perks that Twitch subscribers do. And to me, it's just like, why would you not, like, how is that not wildly obvious? That you need to let people get very, like, personal with the chat aspects. And let them kind of sell their own brand via that. I don't know if anyone would be getting Twitch subs at this point if it wasn't giving them emotes to use in the person's chat versus and other people's. You know? That would be insane. So. But I don't run a multi-million-dollar company. So. You know, when I'm working at the hospital, I always call myself the humble transporter. Because, one, I don't want to pretend like I'm doing the hardest job in the hospital or anything, you know? I'm just here to try and help people get from point A to point B as easy as possible. But also, two, I do want to make it clear I don't fucking know anything. I have not gone to med school. I will not be able to identify your disease, your ailment. I'm so sorry. So, I do my best to try and communicate that with people, as I try to make a polite conversation. But yeah. You know, as much as I have been playing Monster Hunter this weekend, I was also... What was I thinking of? I did also work on my book a bit. Trying to make it a bit better just before I send it off to editors. Like, obviously I do have some time since I still need to save money for that. But, likewise, I even without the help of an editor, I recognize first draft isn't the best draft, so just going through and fixing things. Honestly, sometimes I literally am just like, I want the language to be a bit more flowery, you know? Because A lot of my books aren't typically contemporary. I tend to enjoy Victorian era novels and in mid 20th century works. Something with a bit older flavor to it. So, with that in mind, I'm not just trying to have the book with hyper plain language in different aspects of it. That being said, when the whole, you know, what's your demographic question rolls around, I do want to be like, you know, young adults, tweens to teens to early 20s. But, you know, we'll see about that. Do you think... So I'm not talking about like a big media conglomerate like Disney or what have you. Because I think it's kind of obvious they sometimes play this game. But do you think when like a publisher or what have you is trying to market a book to different generations... Hi, Lime! I hope you're doing well. Lime, I was just about to talk about you. The LGBT community. I'm sorry. I hope that's okay. I was just gonna say, do you think when like they're trying to market books to like different generations and stuff, well, when they're trying to market a book in general, like if something has like LGBT representation / characters in general, or what have you, they're like, okay, so this is for a younger generation. Do you think when a book has like hot ladies and bodybuilders and war heroes, they're like, okay, well, we gotta sell this to the grandpas? You know what I mean? There might be some of that, yeah. Because again, I was like, Disney almost certainly does that in such companies to a degree. I think that to a degree I can also think that can be more regional, but I think something we can actually look at this is regard to Harry Potter. What? Because they try and market Harry Potter to people who don't care about its author being an awful human being. But when it comes to like individual, like, you know, people who are publishing not like a whole bunch of, you know, licensed shit, but instead individual artists, I wonder if they're like, well, this artist is doing this, so we should market it for this generation. It was a niche thing picked up by people who were, and then she showed true color. That's fun. Oh, joy. Also, Lime, so long as I have you on the horn, I wanna tell you something, which is also going to be appropriate, because we've been talking about Monster Hunter so much on this channel recently, and it is related to that. So you've had, why, you've got my horn. Oh. Anyway. Lime, well, I've got you by the womb tattoo. Anyway. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Lime is great. They have an amazing persona, and they've commissioned lots of art of it, right? And recently, some of that art has been in kind of like a water, more Eastern sort of style and what have you, and it looks great. I love that art. At the same time, though, what the style instantly reminds me of is Kimura Village from Monster Hunter Rise. So I see Lime's character drawn in that art style, and the first thing that pops into my head is a hunting mission where we're going to kill Lime. I'm like, wait, no, that's almost certainly not the intention here. But just the gut reaction. I've been Manchurian candidated. I've been winter soldiered. I see someone depicted in that art style now, and I go, welp, that's the target. So, apologize, Lime. I hope to see more works like that soon. Hopefully to reverse my own brain wiring. simply revert. Not if I get you first. I mean, isn't that what a hunt is, though? Kill or be killed. I was also thinking about that today, because earlier, before Pig got his butt kicked by a Latreon in his stream today, he was feeling bad about a bear off they were hunting. And, like, I've said this a lot, especially in regards to Monster Hunter stories, where it's like, I haven't picked up stories, not because I don't think it's a good game, but if I start making friends with the monsters, it's going to be real hard to go back to Monster Hunter, where I hunt the monsters, right? But even, no matter how you paint it, I also think in the world of Monster Hunter, like, the kind of creatures you are dealing with are far too big and powerful for you to be like, but wait, what if it could be friendly, you know? Like, we haven't domesticated great white sharks for a very particular reason. And I imagine that same reason goes for basically every creature in Monster Hunter. Like, I think I've pointed out before that sometimes the in-universe reasoning for why you're hunting a specific creature can be a little iffy. But regardless, I'd argue when you actually encounter the creature, there is no choice but to defend yourself. So, and then the Guildmarm got eaten whole. Exactly. Like, I think even, like, fucking, like, great macaws and jaggies, like, that's just a velociraptor, and we definitely haven't domesticated velociraptors. We're still kind of working on chickens, actually. So, I'm not saying I don't feel bad for some of the monsters in Monster Hunter, but what I am saying is that in this hyper-specific scenario and world, this Monster Hunter world, fucking, I'm not gonna worry about it as much as I might otherwise. They look fun to ride, yeah, for sure. And you mean that in kind of like a, you know, in like a saddle sense, right? Like using it like a mode of transportation, right? Right, Lime? Lime? Right? Like using it to get from one place to another, right? Right, Lime? Also, I will say, that is one small note I already have about Wilds. That, like, I'm not gonna harp on too much because it's just a minor thing, but they've switched from Palamutes to like some kind of raptor creature. They've already released the name, but I forget what it is. And I do kind of have an issue with that because I have almost certainly killed a lot of this thing's close cousins. In fact, we're probably going to kill a lot of its cousins in the in the game, you know? I feel a little weird about that. Like that's where my morality will come in. I'll tell you that much. Like if one creature in that world has gone out of its way to be friendly, I'm definitely not gonna use it while I kill its family. Like, that would be insane. But I guess we'll see. Heck, so far they've only shown off like the desert in trailers, as I've said many times, and you know, so far that seems to be a bunch of worms and bear-like creatures. They just texted me work drama, so I am taking the time to respond. Heck yeah! Love some tortilla chips. They was just kind of texting me about people coming into their store not long before closing. And like, they don't work at a place where people are necessarily going in to get like emergency supplies or what have you. And I completely understand that. Because, you know, when I worked at Disney, very similar case. Like, it's a big Disney store. One that is, you know, isn't closed, is open the same hour every day, 365 days of the year. And yet people would come rushing in 20 minutes to closing, needing a certain thing. And obviously we help them because fucking those places are all about, I mean, except for, you know, the recent thing. Those places are all about like, oh, of course, we'll help you, yada, 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 yada. But they're about that when it means good money. So we couldn't exactly turn them away, but still. Tell you one thing. If I ever owned an in-purchase, if I ever had microtransactions, if I ever had an in-person merch store, and I was there as we were closing for a day, and someone tried to come in 5 minutes till closing, and they're like, "No, I just have to, please," and like, you know, the workers were like, "No, we're closing," and they're like, "No, please, you gotta," I would be like, "Hey, you gotta leave." I would have no problem as owner and face of that business telling people like, hey, we're closed, get out. More people need to start respecting that. And if I'm in a position of power to make them understand, they need to start respecting that more. Really need some Cahill merch then. Then you can come back later, because we'll probably have the same shit. And you'll probably be around to get it, so. And if you're like, well, I was getting it for someone's birthday, and the birthday is tomorrow. That's why you go birthday shopping like a week or so before. I did that. I literally did that this week. It's just smart thing to do. You know? Like, if there's even a small chance a store, like a single store, won't have the single thing you need for an event that you could have easily got it prepared for well in advance, then it's on you for not getting there earlier. And I'm okay dying on this hill. You gotta think ahead. Tap dancing. Honestly, I did one Cuphead stream a while ago, and it went bad. I wouldn't mind streaming Cuphead again. Especially because I imagine, like, some other games, it would be like, you know, if I'm actually streaming it consistently and playing the game consistently, then I'll have plenty of practice and be used to the controls enough that I'm just like, oh, this, that, the other thing. Or a week to walk from my house to the Cahill merch store. I will literally, if that is the issue, I will give you my phone number, call you a taxi cab tonight, and then I'll call you another taxi cab when you are ready to get more Cahill merch and we are open at an appropriate time. I would have no issue with that. Be like, here's how you can reach me. You let me know when you're gonna be picking up new shit. We will get you here and back in a much faster time. I'd be willing to take that bullet to close on time. Easy peasy. Also, just because, you know, it would probably be best to not make someone walk that far at night. It would not be good manners to ask someone to walk such a distance. I would be impressed if someone managed to do like a survival trip from one place to another. From one, like, you know, not contemporary, suburban place to another. Are you camping out? Are you camping out on the city streets? With like a tent and everything? That's impressive. That was easy. In the middle of the night to convince you to add an online store and delivery service? Paula, if you don't think a Cahill comics store would spawn from one that already had an online service, then I don't know what reality we're living in. It's not this one. There is not a fucking there isn't a chance in hell that in this current timeline any store I open would not originate from a website where you could buy the same stuff. We've talked before about, like, is there a way I could easily make teas for people, like teas to order for people to buy? But I don't think there is, so unless I get my own print shop, which, you know, like, maybe. Do you think if I ran it like a print area for a day, I could knock out like 100 shirts, and that would be enough to cover orders for a good long time? I mean, you know, I live in a world that involves having to physically walk to a physical store for a week. Yeah, Paula, you live in a world where it seems like technology is broken down a good amount, so I do apologize about that. I almost know for certain that there is the possibility of, like, renting shirt printing equipment and what have you. I have no idea how one goes about that, though. Because, like, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is, like, my both schools I went to had like shirt printing capabilities, but I don't think they'll let me in there. Being not a student and what have you. So that's out. Then I guess I could Google it, but I don't know. Is there a bill? I mean, let's do this. Or I was about to give a like a what if statement, but I can test it out right now. Let me look up printing. No, shirt printing equipment rental. Printer leasing, printer rental. Start your printing. Lease Brothers, rent printers. Printing rental. A lot of those look like paper printers, though. I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of those did not seem like what screen printing. That's what it is. Maybe if I look that up instead of just like printing rentals, I'd get closer results. Man, pinkies are hard to draw. Oh my lord. Squirmy worm. How big is Willie's hand? Willie's hand is too big. I realize that now. Like, this one kind of works because it's in the foreground and stuff. And it's in a spread out position, so... You know. It's being made to look big, but this one's far too big. Here's what we're gonna do. Is this better? Who can say? You know, I was even thinking, it's like, man, I like drawing noodle arms, but these noodle fingers are not treating me well. Like, yeah, they gotta be noodly, but they do also still have to look like fingers. So... The thing they don't tell you in school is that fingers gotta look like fingers. Still in a dark basement filled with random piles of unkept paper, shirt, hoodies, and empty vast food bags. Sitting at a desk working nonstop while people go on pilgrimages to reach the basement. I mean, if you take off that last sentence, that's basically just true, Paula. Thanks for doxing me, but... Yeah, it'd be wild if I had managed to reach that kind of prolific nature just for, you know... Just for people to have to, like, basically walk to my house. And they leave again. Honestly, this sounds kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. As long as no one's breaking into my house. I know people, given the opportunity to know literally anyone on the internet's home address, start doing weird stuff. So, I mean, honestly, ever since I was a kid, I have been like, what if I just lived in a bunker? You know, live in an underground bunker that structurally is strong enough to withstand just about anything, but on the interior, a nice cozy home. And I imagine having that would be about all that could put my mind at ease if I constantly had people trying, like, reaching my house, finding my home address online, and then walking there. Also, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna draw a square here. Yeah, no, I should. I was thinking, is there a different way I should be doing this? But no, this is good. This is a good way to do this. Anyway, hey, if you're online and you know anyone's home address for weird, not cool purposes, unrelated to you knowing them on a deep personal level, cut that out. Don't do that. You're not doing anything good. That much is true. So be chill. Can I just I was thinking of, I saw Bruce Almighty on the TV the other day, which just brought me back to the whole, you know, the whole, like, kind of like wish granting conundrum again. And it did just make me think, like, it has caused me to think now, like, if I have the ability to make anything happen, which, I mean, I'm literally writing a story about that, but whatever. But if I had the ability to just kind of have one wish granted to change the world, could I just say, everyone be chill? And then, you know, that works. Everyone's like, oh, because it's not be nice. It's not, you know, it isn't like some kind of interpretation thing. It's just like, everyone just calm down. Honestly, to a degree, be calm is even a good one. And also, Ian has finally responded. Well, that's fun. Also, I should probably move Private Gump's head. So that he's kind of matching the angle of Walt and Willie. There we go. I want to make sure chat's being chill, but chat, be chill. My commandment. I just want to make sure Ian's alright. He's not in Discord, is it? No. Oh, don't look at Discord. Stop peeping. Let's see how well I can do a little Tom Hanks caricature here. Actually, let me look up Tom Hanks caricature, because I'm not exactly trained in that art. So, okay. My initial instinct was actually pretty good, apparently, with the way his nose shape is and stuff. There we go. Everyone gives him a very square chin. So we'll kind of do that too. Even though I do want to play up Forrest's softer features that he kind of has in this movie. it would be, I think it would probably be best to, again, follow example. Do my best to work between past artists' stuff and my own. Yeah, slightly smaller button eyes, because real person versus super cartoony characters. I do love the piano going insane behind me as I'm working on all this. Sometimes when you're working, you just need a fucking piano going nuts to really help you focus. Also, to be clear, this is not meant to be a hyper-realistic caricature or even a super stylized caricature of Forrest Gump. If anything, it's more meant to just have some features and maybe be a little Easter egg than be like one for one. If I wanted to just put the visage of a real person in my comic, I'd just import a picture and work from there. You know, kind of just trace a real ass photo. And to a degree, that is kind of what I'm doing. But I think more so, I'm using this as reference to get certain things down. Let me add more shading behind this helmet. Big bucket helmet. I was gonna say, when do they stop using like buckety helmets, but to a degree, they still kind of use them. You know? Soldier helmets haven't necessarily stopped looking just like buckets. It's just, I feel like before, you know, in olden times when you see pictures, soldier helmets are basically iron bowls. Where now they're made of fancy materials and they got lots of padding on the inside. Make sure you don't get a concussion, which is always good. They made a Will Smith movie about that. I didn't see it. I don't think anyone did. Pretty sure it was just kind of Oscar bait. Let me try something here. Oh. Yeah, only gotta go halfway. Also, I should probably give this guy a neck. Necks are good. Necks help with stuff like, you know, swallowing. There we go. Hup. Imagine being able to afford a neck in this economy. Oh, fancy pants Richard McGee over here. Fuck you. Some of us can't have necks. We're living that good old... we're living like the juggernaut over here. Our heads just fused to the rest of our body. Because we can't spend the extra bucks to buy a neck. Fancy pants Rich McGee over here. Fuck you. Fuck you. Honestly, first time I saw Forrest Gump, it was in a middle school. History teacher put it on for us. And the opening of that movie made me think I wasn't going to like the movie very much. But then, I mean, and if you've seen the movie, you might get why. But, and the rest of it is comparatively much better, so. IMO. Much better time. I love that as I'm getting reference for like a Vietnam uniform for this, I'm looking at an action figure they made, which is wild for so many reasons. Do you think Tom Hanks owns a lot of action figures of himself? Like Woody and shit? Do you think he has a lot of Woodies? Just kind of collects them every time Pixar brings them back. He's got like first edition, second edition. Up, up, up. I love how, to a degree, right now, it kind of looks like I'm drawing him in pajamas. And to a degree, what are fatigues if not just kind of pajamas? Heck, I wear scrubs at the hospital, and scrubs are just kind of pajamas. So a lot of uniforms for different jobs can just kind of be used as pajamas. Of course, that's more in the sense of like full set rather than like, you know, sleep clothes. Because like me, I'm the kind of person who just wears sleep shorts, right? So I'm not like, you know, Ebenezer Scrooge out here, full gown, full nightcap and everything to go to bed. But I mean, hey, they still sell plenty of like full pajama sets. Because everyone likes to sleep differently. Everyone's comfy in different things. The reason so many people want to be a doctor, to wear the pajamas. Hey, Paula, I'm going to tell you right now. Any comfort you get from wearing scrubs is almost certainly immediately undone by the kind of things you have to have to do in scrubs. I'm gonna be so real. I'm gonna be so help. That's not Tom Hanks. That's Georgia O'Keeffe. I do love me a Goofy. I love me a Goofy movie. Now, if only they could make one that was a bit more extreme for my sensibilities. Y'all remember that generational gap, like, kind of marketing thing I was asking about? Do you think that goes with, like, when someone makes, like, a goth mommy character? You know what I'm saying? Like, if a story slash, like, comic or whatever you have prominently features attractive people in goth fashion, do you think the publishers and stuff are one of the people that made the cool school folders back in the day? I'm not sure. I want to make sure, because you might be making a reference there, but regardless. Now, George O'Keefe is American modern painter. Who's Goofy's voice actor? Goofy voice actor. Bill Farmer, Pinto Colvig, Will Ryan, Emil Curtel. I don't know where I got George O'Keefe from. I mean, I'd probably heard the art name before, but I don't know why I got it in relation to Goofy. Man, people who already knew that were probably really confused. Gotcha. I mean, it did say modern painter, so there's every chance he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make folder designs. Listen, not every artist is just like, no, it can only be hung in a museum, nothing else. Some are plenty okay being like, you know what? Yeah. Let's make some shit with this on it. That sounds cool as hell. Lieutenant Dan. I guess it was Lisa Frank. Oh my god. I do know what Lisa Frank stuff looks like. Yeah. Well, fucking, I associated him with Goofy. That might be like a Barry bit or something. Or my brother and bit. Me bit. Who, that's one of them calling Goofy George O'Keefe. Not to blame others, but I feel like I got that from somewhere. It wasn't my own brain. Yeah, Lisa Frank, I know. And I don't know if that's a brand or a person, but regardless, the art styles are very distinctive. And I'm pretty sure it's where that new dolphin meme came from. For anyone who doesn't know, currently at the recording of this VOD, there is a meme being passed around the internet in which a very colorful and, you know, like, otherwise bright image of dolphins swimming through the ocean is put to music playing in the background, but it has text over it that is usually saying something like, I'm so depressed, or what have you. Something that definitely doesn't match the dolphins. So, and if you look that up and you look up Lisa Frank, then even if they're not actually the same thing, I don't think I'm far off by saying that they look similar. Also, what was I thinking of? Paula, I gotta say, I do like the Frieza. I do like Frieza from Dragon Ball. I do like the Lisa Franklove. Because I don't know how much I personally am like, oh my gosh, I love these designs. But they're striking and unique, I'll tell you that much. They immediately pop out at you. That being said, I do think she was, that whole thing was more about, making it for, you know, folders and books and stuff rather than just for making the art images. I do think she was purposely trying to design stuff. Also, you know what? Let me look up Lisa Frank. Make sure I just don't fucking... American artist and businesswoman. Okay. I want to make sure. Yeah, these are wild. Absolutely nuts. But I support it. Pretty neat. If nothing else, it's just like, it's insane you can make a piece of art look that way. So, that alone is just like, whoa. Look at yeah. I feel like to a degree it can kind of be off-putting. Like, that's kind of my initial gut reaction. And maybe that's something about me. Maybe Lisa Frank can kind of be used as like a Rorschach test. But, you know, it's a lot of, like, very bright colors and cutesy animals. It's just like, oh, whoa! Like I said, I think there's just value in it based on the fact that it's like, whoa. It's nuts someone can make this. Ain't done everything. Bring me the contract. Come on, bring them to the king. If you haven't finished your task, haven't worked too deciduously, I know I cannot let you pass. Don't you mess with me. Don't mess with King Dice. Don't mess with King Dice. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with King Dice. Don't mess with King Dice. Don't you? I wonder if this was literally just the... Like, this is later, much later in the album, but I wonder if they were just like, okay, record this first, or maybe just separately, and then also, then add the vocals later. Like, is this just the same track from Dice House with no vocals for a different instance in a game? I would not blame the Cuphead devs for trying to save time and money. One of these. I see. That's so... I immediately saw the Rugrats on one. I was like, what? But you were looking up folders. Gotcha, gotcha. I love that Paula, me just rambling off an artist name, has caused Paula to remember some core school memories. That's great. We love it when it happens, you know? When like, someone just says something and all of a sudden your brain connects dots that it hasn't in a while. And you're just like, oh my goodness, memory! I remember. I know your face. You know what I want to get? I want to get the Silmarillion. I'd really love to see what's in that thing. I hear it referenced so much. in relation to Lord of the Rings and kind of like giving background and context to a lot of supernatural stuff in that and what people now take as canon. There's lots of books I want to get. I want to get The Monkey King. I want to get Silmarillion. I actually think this boot needs to be smaller. Is a problem. Made the boot too big. Also, this is almost certainly the moodiest piece of the Cuphead soundtrack. I'll say that much. And I focus on this one part of my drawing. There we go. That's much better. Shadow, it's me, the devil. Come here to convince you to do sin. Lord, I don't know how Georgia O'Keeffe opened in elementary school. Don't name it. What do I do with it in the corners of my mind? That is completely fair. Who knows? Maybe you also just learned about the painter George Keefe and Georgia O'Keeffe in school, which you also associate it with the folders you had. Sometimes like associative memory and shit is really crazy, and that our brains just put two pieces together without really, you know, without necessarily a clear thing between them outside of the proximity in which we experience them. Could very well be. That's what I was saying though. I do love it, just because, like, you know, again, to the general world, and even to you to some degree, and not you, Paula, but you as in people in general. Like, these things don't necessarily have a clear association, but given someone's personal experience, the proximity to events have to each other, you can just start linking them in your brain, just out of nowhere, and suddenly there's a connection between two very, well, not very, but at least somewhat disparate parts. Somewhat for Paula, very different for, you know, for other people who maybe are connecting even stranger things. Stranger Things. I'm doing my best with this boot here, but Lord, kicking my ass. Oh my Lord, don't do that. I'm gonna do this. Give the boot some squatch and stretch. Squumpsh. Here's the thing. I think the real thing right here, yeah. This little line I have bisecting the foot is not helping me. I might have to just get rid of that little boot detail altogether. I think it's really... Because, like... This is something interesting about art, because sometimes, like, adding more details isn't always good, because sometimes you highlight those details way too much. And something that in a, you know, a picture might not stand out to anyone is suddenly so prominent in your thing that it's really confusing people. So, you gotta be careful. But I'm gonna keep trying. That does look better. I think that looks better. I'm here now. Hi, pig. How you doing? Are you doing okay? Nobu and Nobu and Far definitely have me worried about you. Given, you know. Pig, can you guess? Yeah, I got. Okay. I was still concerned. Pig, can you guess who that? Well, don't worry about it. Before I answer that, tell me. Can you guess what this is supposed to be a reference to? This specific little guy right here. I'm curious. Like G.I. Joe? I mean, close enough, because that's also Vietnam era. I was going for Forrest Gump. That is specifically the movie character I'm referencing here. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks jump scare. Also, I apologize to Pig, but I might have to be calling stream just so I can go get some last minute Forrest gum. This is how it feels. This is how it chews to feel 5 gum. Just because I have to go do some... don't zoom in randomly. Just because I have to go do some chores before I go to work tomorrow. Which is wildly unfortunate for so many reasons. Because my hatred is infinite. Yeah, that's what had me worried. You saying my hatred is infinite, definitely a little concerning. Not gonna lie. But regardless of whether or not Pig's hatred is infinite, I hope everyone had a good day and a good stream. We're gonna find someone to raid. If y'all have any suggestions, let me know. Especially you, Pig, since you joined. If there's another streamer you were thinking of raiding, I mean, checking out after I finished up, let me know. I'm cutting it off at the the big ban. Fuck, my browser is not opening. Is there? Where's the raid menu? Bob Ross. Oh, Kio's on. Then Big, Calvi, Iron Mouse, but that's not happening. Now follow Starry mysterying some fields. Give me 1 second. Let me see if that's in my raid menu right here. Because if it is, Starry. Oh yeah, ask Starry. Let's. How about we? Since following Paula's kind suggestion. But yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by today. I had a real good time, even though we missed Magenta. Again, regardless of anything, I was not going to be able to stream Minecraft the next 2 weeks, so hopefully we'll figure some plans out during that time. But regardless, tomorrow we'll be playing Kirby Triple Deluxe, because because people have been asking for Kirby, and that's a game I'd love to get through on or off stream. So yeah, I hope to see you there. Bye.